Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, and welcome to our very first video in the TDL. So that is the Third Dimension League, and we are finally back. Your Wexford Wailords are finally back on the channel. It has been so long, it's been a huge hiatus, but we're back. We're in a new Pokemon League. We're going to see how it gets on, all that kind of fun stuff. And of course, today's video is all about our draft recap. Just going through how the draft went for us, what mons we picked up, the whole idea behind picking them up, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you guys are psyched to see your Wexford Wailords back on the channel, please smash that like button down below for me. And of course, if you want to see more of what this league has in store, smash the subscribe button as well. Before I dive into what we picked, let me just talk through the TDL very briefly. So the TDL stands for the Third Dimension League. 14 players. We originally had 16, but we cut 2 because, you know, they weren't drafting, you know, kind of shenanigans. But we won't get into that. 14 players. We each had to play each other once, I believe. So that's 13 weeks. Little bit long, but it'll be fine. Then the top 6. I believe it's the top 6. Or, yeah, I think it's the top 6 players that have the best record going to playoffs. So that's what we're targeting, get into playoffs at the very least. Because when you're in playoffs, you have a shout. So top 6 get into playoffs, and then, you know, we just duke it out and see who's the season 1 champion, because this is season 1, so it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. The rule set is the GBA 7 or season 7 rule set, so it's an open draft. You pick one Pokemon at the end to be your Z captain, and no megas, because there wasn't enough megas out there for everybody to have one for themselves. So little bit unfortunate in that regard, because I always love megas, and for me, I'm always used to drafting a mega and then building around it. So it's been a little bit more difficult to kind of get used to this draft system, but you know, all the same, it's been fun, and hopefully, as you guys will see, we have a decent team and we can pick it off. I know there's a few holes I need to cover with my team. I just wasn't able to do it during the draft. Just flat out wasn't able to do it, which is unfortunate. But hopefully, as you guys will see, it's decent enough that, and I can pick out the holes in FA later on, and I'll talk through where I got sniped and all that as well. So where I was in the draft, I was roughly midway through the draft. That's where I was, so I was pretty happy with that. I didn't want to be last, because originally it was a 16-man draft, and for me, if you're last on a 16-man draft, it's just booty, because there's just too many people between you and your picks. Like, after your wheel pick, there's 30 picks, you know. So like, it's great having the wheel for like a 12 or 10 person draft or whatever, but as soon as it gets to 16, you're like, it's great for the first 2 picks, but after that, it's hopeless, because you're feeding off scraps essentially. So we got mid. We were in the mid draft. Very happy with that. The draft kind of came on me a little bit all of a sudden, and I hadn't really much had a plan, but I was looking through what was drafted. The Tapus went like that. Lele was already banned, so couldn't pick that. The Crowsman was banned, couldn't pick that. Landorus and Karen Sheer Force was banned, couldn't pick that. So we were I was looking around, and I said I'll make a deal with the devil for this draft, and, you know, I drafted Clefable. Now, those of you who know me know I despise this Pokemon down to the absolute earth. I think this guy is just ridiculous. He's too bulky, it's just too much. His abilities are too good. He's too difficult to deal with. Like, everything, just too difficult, right? He's just flat out too difficult for me to deal with. I absolutely despise going up against it. Every time where I've had a key matchup and I'm up against Clefable, the Clefables kind of outdone me every single time. I despise it, but the one time I did use it for fun, I did enjoy it. So we're picking up Demon or Clefable, and as I said, Clefable is basically a really good defensive wall and defensive pivot. Let's just quick look at its abilities. It has Magic Guard, it has Unaware. Those are going to be the 2 key ones. Q Charmer is pretty much booty, but we have Magic Guard and Unaware. So Unaware means we ignore Pokemon's stat changes, which is really nice to deal with setup Pokemon. And a Magic Guard means we're not going to get damaged by either burns and rocks and all that kind of stuff, hazards, I should say. As regards to its moveset, it gets so much. It gets Aromatherapy, it gets Calm Mind, we have Moonblast as stab, we have Flamethrower as coverage, we have Fire Blast, we have Grass Knot. Like, I can run this team Life Orb, because I won't get the damage back from Magikarp, so like, that just goes to show how insane this thing can be. We have Heal Bell and Aromatherapy to get to heal our team. We have Wish, so we can pass off health if needs be. We we also have our own healing in Moonlight, and I believe there's another one. Not Moonlight, like what's the egg one? I can't remember. Soft boiled, I believe. I believe we get soft boiled. Do we? I'm pretty sure we get soft boiled. We do. So like we have so many good healing options. We get knockoff, which is awesome. We get cosmic power, stored power, all that kind of stuff. So really, Clefable can do a lot of stuff, and this thing gets stealth rocks, So Clefable can do an awful lot on our team. It can come in and play a different defensive role every week, and can provide support to our team in various different ways. So I was delighted. I picked up a really strong fairy round one. It's not what I normally kind of draft. I normally like to pick offensive power draft. What's kind of first round, but I just went for Clefable because I didn't really know what was going on, and I said, look, Clefable for me, I could deal with it. I could deal with having Clefable on my team rather than playing against it this season. So we made a deal with the devil and we picked up Clefable. So that's our first pick. Our second pick, I was looking around and I was thinking I might pick up Steel type because Steel type's awesome. But a couple of really key Steel types were starting to go. Yeah, a few of the key Steel types were starting to go. Like Celestelia went, Cortana went, all that kind of stuff. Heatran, I should have picked Heatran. Should have picked Heatran looking back on it. But what I did go for was I went for Skarmory. So we have Sharps or Skarmory, not Steely Avian. We have Sharps. So we have Sharps or Skarmory. And the reason why I went for Skarmory was because I was really wanting to play Hazard Stall. Well, not Hazard Stall, but just Hazard. I wanted to play a Hazard stacking team this league. So Skarmory gave me another option for rocks, as you can see. Gave me an option for spikes. And it also gave me some defog support as well. Even though that's not the ideal thing that you want for hazard stacking, I figured, look, it gives me really good hazard support. Helps me. It gives me another defensive wall I can deal with. I have reliable recovery and roost. I can whirlwind people out as well, so that they constantly get hurt by the hazards. The typing is very good because this helps me build my fairy steel wall core. So I was very happy with how with the Skarmory pick at the time, and I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm a little bit annoyed I didn't go for Heatran, but I'm very happy with it all the same because I think it still fits in, and it means Clefable doesn't always have to be a physical wall because of Skarmory, and sometimes I can throw Spadef on Skarmory and have Clefable as a physical wall. So the two of them are very interchangeable, which is quite helpful. Because Skarmory's natural defense stat is insane. It's just bonkers. So that was my second pick. I was very happy with those two. And I came around to my third pick. And I was pretty much leaning towards getting a dragon. But for some reason, I wasn't. For some reason, I was looking at dragons. I was like, look, I think I can stall for one more. I think I can leave dragon for another pick. So I decided I'd go for a little bit of wall breaking power. Because I had two really good defensive mons, but I did not have any wall breakers, and for me that's a big no-no for doing drafts. I normally like picking my power first and my bulk second, so I kind of did in reverse. So I decided I better go pick up a wall breaker, and looking down through, I found one Pokemon in particular that I really wanted to use. It fitted our team at the moment because I was kind of covering his weaknesses a lot, and that Pokemon is Terrakion. So we have Commander the Terrakion on our squad for this season. Pretty much these last three Pokemon, they're all debutants for the Wailords, so that's going to be insane. But we picked up Commander, justified ability, just to break it down through it. Means if we get hit by Dark type move, we're +1 attack, which is fantastic, because Terrakion has already got a beastly attack, so getting more is brilliant. We 108 speed, so it means we're over that 100 speed threshold. So we're a very, very fast Pokemon. We can hit things very hard, which is great. I can run several sets on this guy. I can run Band, Choice, Banded, Scarf, Orb. I can run Lefties on it if I want. And this guy gets some serious moveset. Like I get Close Combat, Earthquake, I get Stone Edge. Pretty sure I have Sword Stance, but I have Iron Head and Poison Jab as coverage. I have a bit of priority and Quick Attack, but I don't really want to use that. I've Roar if I want to use this as another way to phase mons out. I've Rock Polish if I want to get some speed up. I have another rocker as well. I'm substitute. You know, it's just insane. Taunt, I could be a fast taunt user. You know, and I got X Scissor and Z headbutt as well as coverage. It's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers. Like if I want to run this bandit and I'm facing a really good psychic type, I can just put X's on this thing, and you know, that psychic type isn't going to be enjoying that too much after that. So this Terrakion is insane. I cannot wait to use it, and his stats is unreal. Like I've got decent bulk, so I'm able to set up a Swords Dance or a Rock Polish, and my attack and my speed are just so high. Like no one really wants to deal with it. No one, like nobody that is looking at a Terrakion and knows it's going to get hit really wants to take the hit from it, because it's going to be a 2-hit KO minimum. So really happy we picked up Terrakion. And that is for most Pokemon, by the way. There is some Pokemon that can kind of deal with this, but most Pokemon do not want to deal with this Terrakion at all. So I'm delighted we picked up Terrakion. I felt it was a really good pick, really good offensive power, and I was delighted. So came around to my fourth pick, and I said I better pick up my dragon now, because if I don't pick up my dragon, I'm going to be left with a booty dragon to complete this like potentially awesome Fairy Steel dragon core that I was working towards. And it just so happens that this one particular dragon was still there, and I was shocked. I was shocked when this dragon was still there, because this guy normally is like is gone in the first 3 rounds. So for this guy to still be around round 5, I was shocked. And that Pokemon is Hydreigon. So we have Hydra or Hydreigon on the team. I'm still shocked that this guy was still knocking around in round 4. Still shocked. It fell to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. I've Levitate, so I've got another ground immunity. So that's one of Terrakion's weaknesses dealt with. I know Terrakion's got loads of weaknesses, but between this Steel Fairy Dragon core, I can soak up a lot of these weaknesses very, very nicely for Terrakion to kind of shine and really hit things very hard. So that's very happy with that. And this Hydreigon can do so much. We've seen bulky Hydreigon on other league teams across YouTube, and then of course we've seen like Specs, Scarf, Bandit, Life Orb Hydreigon sets, because it's so good. Like look at these stats, right? Like 105 attack isn't that bad. It's actually pretty decent. 125 special attack is insanely good. 98 speed, just shy of that 100 base speed tier, but it does mean that anybody who is 100 base speed has to run max speed, has to run timid or jolly, has to put 252 in speed to be able to make sure they guaranteed to outspeed non-Scarf Hydreigon. Because if they don't, I will outspeed them with my max speed Hydreigon and nuke them with something. So it does guarantee, it does kind of force 100 to be max speed, which I'm very happy about. Going through his moveset, it's insane. Like from the physical and special point of view, it's nuts. Like Crunch, Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, it's Dragon Tail for a bit of phasing, and Roar for a bit of phasing. Earth Power, Earthquake, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Fire Firing as well. Focus Blast is knocking around. Head Smash. Come on, this move pool is ridiculous. Outrage for a bit of for a physical dragon type move. Rock Slide is there. Single Beam is there. Super Power, Surf. We get Surf. Come on, it's nuts. Like Surf to deal with the fire types. Like for Scamry, it's insane. We have U-turn for a bit of switch initiative. Zen Headbutt. Like this guy gets an absolute insane move pool, and that's I'm pretty sure we get substitute as well, which is which is lovely. We get Tailwind, Taunt, Thunder Wave if we want to be a little bit on the bulky side and be a little bit annoying. Like it's absolutely nuts what this Hydreigon can do. Absolutely bonkers. This guy's got like such really good utility and such good versatility as well, that this guy's going to be a star on our team. So Hydra, welcome to the Wailords. Can't wait to see how well you're going to shine, my friend, and hopefully we can pick up a nice few kills with you. So came around to my my fifth pick, and I was looking at one ball in particular, and I was praying I wasn't going to get sniped. Really was praying that this Pokemon would not get sniped, because I had a Steel Fairy Dragon core, but I also nearly had a Fighting Dark Psychic core, which is a really good core back in Black and White before Fairy was introduced. Pretty much gone like to the wayward now, but still a very nice core to have if you got ways to deal with fairies. So I figured, you know something, I really want this core. If I can pick up a really good Psychic type, I'd be flying. And I managed to pick up this one. and it is Bubbles or Coulis as our like psychic type, and I'm delighted with this Pokemon. This guy is so good on League format. If you guys haven't seen him, go check out the New Orleans Pelipper's Pokemon in the GBA or in the MPA. This guy does so much work as an Assault Vest, as a Trick Room Life Orb user, as a bulky defensive mon, either physical or special. It's so good. His his abilities are insane. He gets Magic Guard, which we've been over, but also gets Regenerator, so it means I get a third of my HP whenever I switch back out. So putting in AV with Regenerator means I could sponge hits, hit off a bit of damage, get back out again, and get some health. It's absolutely insane. I have Trick Room here as well, if as another option if I want to use that. Looking down through his through his move, like this guy gets so much. He gets Drain Punch, Energy Ball. He gets the Psychic Psy Shock, gets Calm Mind, which you do see a lot in Coulis. Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Gyro Ball. My God, Gyro Ball. Knock Off, Ice Punch. Oh, man, like Pain Split, Power Up Punch. It's so good. Like this thing has got such good coverage. I can trick Mons as well. I could trick a Scarf onto somebody with this guy, which is nuts. I have Acid Armor if I want to be that guy. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane what this thing can do, and I'm really looking forward to using it because it does give me more bulk. I got a lot of bulk, but I think it kind of complements the two wall breakers I have now with Terrakion and Hydreigon. So hopefully I can use this thing to kind of wear down the opposition and let the my power kind of take over. Although I do need more power on this team to round it all off. So Bubbles, welcome to the Wailords, and hopefully we can do a bit of work with you. At this point now, in the draft, I was really looking for fire types. I was desperate. I was desperate for fire types. Oh my God, because I needed a fire type, a water type, a grass type. I knew I had to go for fire first because there's loads of bulky water types, but fire types just go like that. They snap up just like that. The whole time they just get picked. I also need a fast electric type, but most electric types are pretty fast, so I was kind of going to hold on that a little bit. I was going to be brave and hold on with that because I really wanted a fire type. But sadly, the fire type I wanted got sniped. I really wanted Entei because Entei gave me a really good priority, gave me another physical attacker, and I really wanted Entei, but that got sniped, so that didn't happen. And I was looking at the team. It was actually really early one morning before I went to work when I was looking at what to pick, and I was like, well, I didn't really want to go for another for a fire type after going for Entei because I was just looking saying, no, I think the rest of the fire types, because a lot of them got drafted early, but I figured the rest of the fire types will still be there later on. And I saw one Pokemon, I was like, that's not going to be there later on, and that's going to be a huge Pokemon to have. And that Pokemon was Superior. So Superior the Superior is on the Wailord squad for this season. If you guys don't know what this guy does, essentially, you give it Contrary, and every time it lands a Leaf Storm, it gets +2 special attack. So this Meteor special attack stat becomes monstrous all of a sudden. Absolutely monstrous. It starts nailing things very hard, very quickly. We have an insane speed stat as well in 113 base speed. So, you know, you do get the odd 110 Pokemon here that people were drafting, but with 113, it really means we outspeed a lot more threats. And it also gives us a late game sweeper on top of that, because if you could bring in Superior and get off of Leaf Storm and get a KO, then great. But if you could bring, but if Superior is in the back late game and you know you can pick off a couple of mons with Leaf Storm, you're golden, because you just get +2 special attack and then you're pretty much going to clean up. Also, this guy can be ran bulky. He's got a good physical defense, good special defense, and he gets the he gets screen, so he gets the likes of Reflect. He gets light screen, which is pretty good. He gets aromatherapy. You gotta be careful with a few of these setup moves with Contrary. So if we do that, we have to go for Overgrow, because Contrary just reverses the effects of your stat changes. So that's why Leaf Storm goes +2 rather than -2 with Superior. But we get a lot of good moves. We get Giga Drain for a bit of lasting power, Leaf Storm, as I mentioned. On the physical side, we get Knock Off, Leaf Blade, Aqua Tail, Outrage, which is pretty decent. We also get Dragon Pulse as well to help deal with some dragons. So we got a lot of good mons. No, a lot of good moves, I should say, with Taunt, Toxic, all that kind of stuff. Gotta look out for how we're going to get on with this Pokemon, because it's definitely going to be a good bit of fun to use. And I had to pick it as soon as I saw it still there in the draft. I have to pick it because it does kind of help sweep late game. So that was our 6th pick, and these are our first 6 picks. Our 7th pick, because we have 11 picks. Our 7th pick, I was still going after fire types. Still wasn't happening for me. Rotom Heat went early enough, but I don't know I don't know, but I didn't go for. I was looking for a fire type, but then I realized I need a spinner. And bulky water types were starting to go. It's gone to the point now where people are really just trying to finish off their draft. And funnily enough, when I got this mon, all the spinners went this round as well. Like all the Hitmon top, all the Hitmon Pokemon, like Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, Hitmonchan, they went. And I got this Pokemon. I got Tentacruel. So Jelly Baby, our Tentacruel is on the team, and this guy gives me a really good spinner, really good spinner, and that's what I really wanted. Because when it was like halfway between my pick, I realized I needed a spinner, especially for hazard stacking, and spinners were going very quickly. So Tentacruel is here, and this guy has got spinner. Pretty much going to be running Liquid Ooze most of the time, rather not going clear body. I do have Rain Dish as well when we go up against, if we happen to go up against a rain team. There is one rain team in the draft, so that would be nice to have. Looking at this guy's stats, good health pool, good spit def, really good speed, which is very interesting. But this guy mainly comes in as more of a utility mon. Some people run with max physical defense and max HP because our spit def stat is pretty good naturally. Looking at this guy's moveset, we have Acid Spray, which, something is very underrated. I think people started to realize how good Acid Spray was when it against special defensive walls, because it just lowers their special defense by 2. So on a switch, you land Acid Spray, they're -2 Spadef, and they're all of a sudden in a pretty bad spot because the next Acid Spray is going to hit twice as hard. So that's pretty good. We get Dazzling Gleam, we get Giga Drain, and Giga Drain is one of our best forms of recovery because Tentacruel doesn't get a natural form of recovery. So pretty good to have Giga Drain. We've Haze to stop any any setup in front of us. We've Hex, which is interesting, but I'm not too keen on it. Knock Off again, which is fantastic. Ice Beam, Scald, Hydro Pump, Rapid Spin, which I mentioned. Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, all that kind of good stuff. And we get Toxic Spikes. So I now have a Toxic Spike setters on top of that. So we've fantastic hazard setting. We've 2 ways of removing hazards on our side of the field, and we're not even that weak to hazards at the moment, so that helps us as well. But overall, a very good mon. Not that potent offensively, but I just needed a spinner, and this guy fits that, and also fits the bulky water type that I normally like drafting in these draft leagues. And on top of that, if you look back here, we have 2 ways. We've Hydreigon and Bubbles to take the psychic type attacks. We have 2 immunities to ground moves. Very much helps out Tentacruel, and we have Superior to come in and eat potential electric type attacks and ground type attacks. So very much kind of gels with this team very nicely. So the next pick came around in the draft, and yet again, I was looking for a fire type. Wasn't really working out, and fast electric types will leave it as well. So I was tossed between doing one or the other, and I said I'll leave fire type for one more round. You can kind of see what's going to happen later on, but I said I'll leave fire types for one more round, and I picked up my fast electric type because there was only 2 I really wanted to use, and I was trying to decide which one I really wanted to pick, but I had to pick this one because it's still there. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome back to Solar Panel and the Heliolisk. Solar Panel is back on the team. I'm so happy this guy is back. I'm so happy. It wasn't even a contest. Eventually he can stay there undrafted. Heliolisk is back. Solar Panel is back on our squad. I am so happy this guy is back. It is insane. We have like awesome abilities. We have Dry Skin for us to help in the rain, Sand Veil to help us in the sand, Solar Panel to help us in the sun. Our stats are fantastic. Great speed, great special attack, decent speed def, and our move pool. It's our move pool that just does it for me. We have Full Switch, we have Thunderbolt. Oh, let's just look down. Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast. Oh, Grass Knot. Oh, golly. Signal Beam. Oh, and Hyper Voice. And Hyper Voice, which is nuts. And Hyper Beam if we're feeling so inclined. I love this one. I love this Pokemon, and if people who know me and have been around in the channel for a long time know that I adore this Pokemon. I absolutely adore the League format. If I can pick it, I do, and it was there, and I wasn't too sure if it was still going to be there, and I said, you know something, I'm picking up Heliolisk. I pick it up. Galvantula for me was kind of nearly there because it gave me Webs, and it was another fast electric type, and it gave me Bug, but the Bug type, but you know something? I had to go for Solar Panel. I've used it before. I'm going to use it again. I just know it inside and out. I know the coverage it gets. I know how hard it can hit. With Life Orb, Scarf, Specs, the whole lot, delighted. And 109 base speed again. So we have 3 really fast Pokemon now, which really helps you out in draft format. So delighted we picked up Solar Panel. Really pumped for that. We got a fast nature type, perfect. Now the next pick. Really wanted fire type now, and I've been saying this for the last 4 picks. I was like, need a fire type, need a fire type, need a fire type. I was looking at Chandelure. I really looked at Chandelure. I said this gives me a really good fire immunity for. Let me come back over here. Gives me a really good fire immunity for Skarmory, like, and Superior. Gives me really good fire immunity. And I was looking at Chandelure, and it gave me Infiltrator, so I can kind of hit people behind substitutes. So I was really looking at that, really praying that was still going to be there. And it got sniped. It really got sniped. And the other thing about Chandelure was it was a Ghost type, so it was a spin blocker. So that helped hazard stacking as well. And I'm not going to lie, I was really annoyed. That and the Entei snipe really annoyed me. I was super annoyed with that. I got sniped a few other times during the league, but they weren't major snipes. They were just like, oh, I really wanted that Pokemon kind of thing, but I wasn't really banking on it. I was banking on Entei, I was banking on Chandelure, and it just didn't happen. So I had to kind of look at what else was knocking around, and I needed a ground type. You know, because ground types are like good to have, just good to have that immunity, good to have that option on your team. And what I decided to go for was, I decided to go for Palossand. So Palossand is a ghost ground type, so that gave me a spin blocker and a ground type, so I kind of fit 2 rows into one. So I was happy enough with that. We've used this recently on one of my live streams from one of my mono ground live streams. So we have HP, defense, special attack, really good stats. Not great speed, but this guy is so bulky. His idea is that he can just take it and dish back, and we get Giga Drain with this guy. We get Giga Drain, so that's one way for us to recuperate health. Just looking at his move pool, he's got Destiny Bond, Earth Power, Energy Ball, Grass Knot, Shadow Ball. Sure Up is. Oh, we also have Sure Up. I totally forgot. We have Sure Up, which gives us a form of recovery, and it gives us 2/3 recovery in the sand. And there is 2 sand teams, by the way, in this league, so I'm very happy with that. And that also helps Helios, the fact that we have 3 weather teams we're going to be up against. Helios kind of deals with them very nicely. But we have decent coverage here with Palossand, and we have decent bulk too for us to be able to sponge a few hits. Water Compaction is when we get hit by a water type move, our defense goes up by twice. So it can be helpful. It can sponge a few physical water type hits. On the special side though, very poor, so we've got to be very careful with that. But I'm very happy to have a Palossand. I think it deals with a lot of mons, and it deals with like a few niche threats that we're going to come up against, and it gives me a spin blocker. So happy to pick it up. Still disappointed we didn't get Chandelure. Very disappointed we didn't get it, but happy enough that we got Palossand as a good substitute, because it does fit the 2 rows I was 2 roles I was looking for, but not the role I was really looking for. So came down to the last 2 picks of the draft. All the other fire types were booty at this point. I think like Blaziken was gone, Ember was gone. Like they were gone in between, like me drafting Tentacruel and Solar Panel and all that. They were gone. So they were garbage. They couldn't be couldn't be picked. They're not garbage. They're actually really good, but they couldn't be picked. Heatran was gone early. Victini was gone first round. Typhlosion's still there, but Typhlosion is booty. Turnitor, or whatever it's called, the Dragon Fire type that was introduced this gen, is still knocking around, but I wasn't too keen on it. I'm not going to lie, really was not keen on it. Because I had 3 Pokemon weak to ground now. As well, I still need a fire type, but I wasn't worried about the ground the additional ground weakness, but it was just, I wasn't too keen on it. That's what I'm really trying to say, because I wanted a fire type that can hit hard at the very least, and that Mon just doesn't. So I kind of resigned myself, saying, look, I'm not going to pick up a fire type during the draft. I'll kind of get more into that at the end of this video, towards the end of this video, about what I'm going to do about it. But I had a look at my team and I realized we are ridiculous. We have insane offensive spread. So if we look back here, let's look like from a standard perspective. We have 1 physical one there. We have a mixed one there. Let me work offline. Sorry. We have a mixed one here. Okay. Mostly ran special. Superior is special. Let me come over here. Sorry about this, guys. What's it called? Back over here. A wall. What's it called? More of a wall, but it hits primarily on the special side, but can do physical. His physical isn't too bad, but primarily special. Well, it's not great, but it's not too bad for a defensive mon. Primarily special attacker, primarily a special attacker. You can kind of see what was going on. My team was very much lean on the special side, and I needed some physical threats. And it's very hard to pick up physical attacking mons late in the draft. And I was kind of looking down, and these next 2 picks just give me a physical threat. Although I'll probably have to change them when free agency opens. My first pick is actually Heracross. So we have scooped the Heracross. I'm not too happy with the fact I picked up another fighting type, but I felt I could, because I wasn't too weak to it with the fighting type at the moment. Well, to psychic types and whatnot at the moment, because I had Hydreigon and I had Skarmory and I had Palossand, so I wasn't too worried about. I decided to pick up Heracross because Heracross gives me 85 base speed, which I didn't have anybody in the 80s territory just yet, so being able to have a mon roughly there was nice. I have an insanely good attack stat in 125, and also I get guts, so I can come in on Skull Burns or toxic people toxic in me, or if I have a Flame Orb as well, it'll just really boost my attack stat. And I have Moxie, so Moxie is insane. If I pick up the kill, I get a +1 attack boost with Heracross, and Scarf Heracross can come in and really sweep up late game. So really happy with that mon. Really happy with how that went. This thing can be run Scarf, Banded, Orb, Toxic Orb, Flame Orb, as I mentioned there with Guts. Looking at his moveset, he gets Bulk Up, Swords Dance, Close Combat, Bullet Seed for a bit of coverage, which is nice, but not the best. It's great for Mega Heracross, but not great for normal Heracross. Earthquake, which is very helpful. Knock Off, which is very helpful. Mega Horn, which is pretty much nearly standard now on Heracross. You need to hit hard, and that thing does hit hard. We can Pursuit Trap, which is very helpful. Very helpful. We get Stone Edge as well, Substitute and Swords Dance, and we get Bulk Up, as we saw up here. So definitely a nice array of moves here for Heracross use on the physical side, and it does give me another physical threat. And then my final pick, again, I was looking at physical mons to pick up. There was next to nothing really, and that's the honest truth. Like, I was really looking at good physical attacking mons, next to nothing. It was really poor. It was definitely a neglect on my part of the draft up until now, and so I ended up having to pick up another fighting type to kind of cover, to give me a bit more offensive threat, and that fighting type was Medicham. So we have Zenda Medicham here, and really, you look at this guy's stats and it's poor, very poor, but with pure power. and my attack stat has doubled. So this guy, instead of having base 60, is essentially base 120, and that's I don't think it's even that. I think it's just slightly more than that. But I'll kind of dive into that a little bit more when we get into team building and whatnot. I don't really have a psychic weakness here, but I do have a flying weakness, so a little bit tricky with that one. But I figured like this will do the trick just nicely. This Medicham, it'll give me another physical mon that I can threaten in and hopefully help out. I do kind of prefer Heracross though, because it means bulky psychic types can't really come in and say, "Ha, I counter all his physical threats," but in actual fact, they're not going to enjoy Mega Horn from a choice band Heracross. But Medicham does resist the psychic type. We get a nice bit of moves here. We do get the high jump kick, we do get drain punch, we do get bulk up. We get an awesome amount of priority here with bullet punch and fake out, which is something that shouldn't go on understated. We do get an awesome bit of priority there. And we get ice punch as well. We get poison jab, power up punch. We get a lot of good moves here. Medicham is pretty decent. I'm really not going to be running recovery because this guy isn't really a defensive mon. It's mainly used to hit things very, very hard. But very, very happy with this guy. And we get Zen headbutt actually, sorry, as our physical psychic move. So very happy with this guy. 80 base speed. Kind of probably prefer Heracross' stats to Medicham, but Medicham does have that niche with the priority as well. So the two of them kind of do fit a couple of niches, but definitely overall not what I really wanted to do it towards the end of the draft. So a little bit disappointed overall with that. But you know, I'll take that consolation at the moment. Overall with the draft, I'm mostly happy up onto Palosand, and I'm not too pleased with how I had to kind of draft essentially two fighting types to give me a bit more of a physical threat, and I'm not too happy I didn't get a decent fire type. You know, it just happens in drafts. I know Rotom Heat was drafted, but it was drafted by a player that's now left the TDL and is now in the free agency. I don't know when free agency is open, but I have kind of asked, can I please just get Rotom Heat for either Heracross or Medicham, because I really do need a fire type. And Rotom Heat does hit pretty hard. It has decent speed, but does hit pretty hard. So I'm sadly not expecting Heracross or Medicham to last long on the Wailords team, but for the time they're going to be here, they're going to be very useful. Unless, of course, I don't get Gosh Digidon Rotom Heat. I'd be devastated if that doesn't happen. But I'm really hoping I get Rotom Heat, and hopefully, we'll have a decent Fire Water Grass core then. But that's our team, folks, and hopefully we can get to playoffs. It's going to be an interesting journey. It's going to be an interesting ride. It's going to be news. Oh, sorry. Let me rewind. My Z captain. No. Over here. My Z captain is none other than Terrakion. So, Commander our Terrakion is going to be our Z captain. I didn't want to reveal it right away. I wanted to wait until the end, but Terrakion is going to be our Z captain because Terrakion gets Z Sandstorm, gets a Z move, Rock type move, gets a Z move, close combat move, fighting type move, which all do massive damage. You know, all do massive damage. If you look at a few of the calcs, like a fully physically defensive Slowbro can it's a roll if we O-code them with a +2 Z rock type move. Can't remember the name of it, but +2 at that. That's insane. And the Slowbro is like the main counter to Terrakion, but at +2 we go in and we nail that thing, and we get the OCO. It throws hazards up, and I think we're just shy of the guaranteed OCO without hazards. So that just goes to show how ridiculously powerful this Terrakion can be. It's absolutely insane. So I'm very, very happy that we have Terrakion as our Z captain. But that's our draft recap for today, guys. I know I kind of went on a bit. It's nearly 40-minute long video, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it and you kind of know what my thought process was throughout and all that kind of shenanigans. And whew, that was kind of needed to take a breather after that. But yeah, if you guys, of course, if you guys like today's video, please smash that like button down below for me. If you guys have any comments on the draft, how we got on, what you think of it. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. If you guys want to see more TDL action coming your way on this channel, and your Wexford Wailords for that matter, please smash that subscribe button down below for me. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to get on up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.